Yeah, I'm going live on my thing right now. Hello, Facebook.
Right.
I am going live with the beautiful Sue Greenwald on Awakened Stories. So, me and Sue are going to be chatting, and you're all invited to hear what we're chatting about.
Right. So this is Sue Greenwald with Awakened Stories here with the one, the only, dun 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 da, John F. Kennedy Jr. You know, I'll go around and say that I talk with you every week and I'll give your name and all that. And people don't even look up with surprise. Like, do they not hear what I'm saying? Right? Doesn't that give them a little bit of, oh, maybe I should ask what she's talking about? No. So, how are you doing? It's been weeks since we talked.
Yeah, it has. I've been missing you. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I've been a little discouraged, a little dizzy in my own mind lately.
Mm,
Everything that's going on and how all the being hindered and blocked and the haters and obviously there's a group of people being paid to try to hinder my story,
right,
but
right.
it's all good. I keep marching forward. It's two steps forward, one step back, sometimes two or three steps backwards, but it's
Yeah.
all
You got,
good.
the thing is, you've been persisting for years now. All right. It's like climbing up the mountaintop with getting the truth out there. You're almost to the tippy top where you can rest a little bit and then coast down, but you still have to keep climbing just a little bit longer.
I need a good rest. I'm the
Yeah.
type of guy where somebody can come up and kick me in the nuts and I'll say, oh, it's all good.
Yeah. No, that that can't happen. So
No.
you've been very persistent at getting the truth out there. All right. And, that's why we're talking roughly weekly, sometimes more, sometimes less. But we're talking, telling John's story, trying to get people to listen to the truth, to at least consider that there might be some truth in what you're saying, right? Because the programming of what people have been taught is so intense. They're still programming people with documentaries, with magazine covers and articles, fake photos, this and that. People are very programmed. And, they don't understand that there's a bigger story here. They're
Yeah,
going to soon, though.
they wanted my story hindered and blocked so bad
True.
because my story ties right in there with the Epstein files.
It does.
It really does. You're talking about a satanic cult, and it goes all the way to the presidents of the United States of America. This satanic cult. I'm sharing my story of my father being executed by this satanic cult.
Yeah.
My uncle and my whole family um, being unalived by this satanic cult. And I've
Right.
been sharing it and sharing it. And I think I'm losing my voice or something.
Well, okay. So for those that don't know, John has been telling his story for, well, multiple years. We've been talking either 2 or 3 years now. I don't actually remember how long, but we've talked.
Um,
We've been trying to get the story out every week. The book I wrote is called Quest for Justice with John. All right. Available on awakenedstories.com. That's the only place you can get the book. It's also available on John's website, therealjohnfkennedy.com. Why, you say, would we take the time and effort to sell a book on our websites? Oh, that's a good question, and I'll answer it because this book has been banned from Amazon. All right. I didn't, I didn't, what would you call it? I told everything that John tells us on the videos, I put in here. I compiled it in, the way I wanted to organize it. They're basically your stories and your words, and they don't want it out there. Okay, that should tell people that are watching this there is a story there. There's a deeper truth they don't want to get out there, just like the Epstein files. Okay, look at Trump said last January that he was going to get the Epstein files right out there. Then in July, it was like, oh, there's no files, nothing to report. Now we're seeing some of the photos and videos coming out and what they're doing.
Yeah,
That
it's
should,
huge, the child trafficking that they do, the child kidnapping. Where do you think Epstein and Donald Trump got all these children? They're kidnapped children. They're put with handlers. It's huge what our government does. Um, Back to this book right here. We should be we're so hindered and blocked. We should be selling more than two or three, four books in a month. We really should. They don't want this out.
right.
I haven't read this book. I get so tired of hearing my own fucking story. Robin was on the phone with a friend last night, and we were going out to dinner. And I said, "Robin, hang up. I'm tired of hearing myself about myself. Uh, I, I, I don't know. It's just too much for me to handle all day, 24 hours a day.
Right, right.
But I'm John Kennedy Jr. and I was fucked in the ass. But yeah, it's. But anyway, this book right here, I gave to a friend. He just told me yesterday, this is an awesome book, so full of information.
Yeah.
I did. I give it to him. I said, read it. I think he's probably read it three or four times. I know he's read Stolen Identity. I don't know how many times,
Mhm.
but he fills me in on everything, which is cool. That way I don't have to read it. Stolen Identity. I was proofreading it. I broke down in tears over and over again. I would go walk around the block, come back and read another paragraph, and I'd break down in tears again. Finally, I just said, "Fuck it, it's good enough. It's the I, it's my story. I don't need to hear my own story over and over again."
Yeah.
But yeah, please, if you can, check out this book. I'm going to be autographing Sue more copies and sending it back to her. It's time consuming, it's expensive, but we're trying to get the truth out. These are going to be collector's items, people. They really are. We're going to get the story out and we're going to
Right.
expose all these motherfuckers, these pedophiles, and these murderous thieves. And that's exactly what they are, people. If you know what they do with the Epstein files, my story exposes it all. I was kidnapped. I was tortured. I was sexually abused. I was tortured some more. I watched my mother raped. I watched my mother shot to death. I watched my sister beat to death. I watched my my stepbrother died in my arms from a gunshot wound. I was there. My stepfather was axed to death by Hollywood children. Our Secret Service got a bunch of Hollywood children to axe my stepfather up. I saw his body under a bloody sheet. Why they did this, why they made me see all this, I don't know. But that's the truth. I'm sharing what I've had to live. And it's one big satanic cult cabal. And Donald Trump, right now, is at the head of the cabal evildoers. And before him, it was Biden. And, you had Obama and the Bushes and all the way down the line, the Clintons, big time into this satanic cabal. So please, there's so much information on my story, and it's all free. But if you really want to help out and support the cause, get the book, please.
Yeah.
It gives
Another,
us a couple dollars in our pockets to put gas in our car, to pay the internet bill, and keep going, keep marching forward in this journey we're all on.
yeah. I wanted to point out too, there's a 1 hour documentary called The Quiet Journey.tv. The documentary is fabulous and it's a summarization of John's story. So you could spend 1 hour of your life, learn the story, and then further support John in the way that you're able to, spreading the story, reading the book, telling the story, giving the book to other people, your library, whoever it might be. Yeah, the
That's
story
the
is
quiet
important. Yeah.
journey.tv, people.
I'm thinking that this story, John, is bigger than we know right now. Like right now, we're trying to help you, the person. This story is bigger than we can understand right now. There's so much
It ties everything together.
it
It was
does.
the assassination of my father, JFK, was the start of the takeover by this
Yeah,
satanic
yeah,
group. With that said, people think about spies, other countries. The story is so huge, spy versus spy. You get spies in why? To tear down, to infiltrate. the United States of America has been overthrown. It has been infiltrated, people. You don't hear about it because it's been infiltrated
Right.
until you try to share the story.
Right.
You don't know how hindered we really are with mainstream media being bought up.
Yeah.
It's crazy. With that said, she was sharing the quiet journey. Some wonderful, beautiful people paid a lot of money, a lot of time, came down here and did this little movie for us to get the truth out. It's so appreciated if you go see the quiet journey and share it. We need it, world. We really need it, world.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very important documentary. And like I said, this story is bigger. Like I'm I can kind of see a bigger picture of what really happened. It's bigger than I can understand. And there's more deception, there's more evil stuff than we can even like talk about right now. So we're
Well,
just talking about your story, one
we
little story right now.
yeah, we have a government
Hmm.
that polices themselves. They are at the head of the crime ring. And you imagine what they get away with. They get away with murder, the theft of real estate, the theft of property, child trafficking, placing children with handlers and other families so they can use the children in the future for this cabal cult. Donald Trump's showing you that right now with his cabinet members. They're huge with this satanic group, and you hear it every day. They spout the lies. Donald Trump is doing so great. Donald Trump is doing this for his country. Donald Trump is. They're programming you instead of telling you the truth. Donald Trump is a pedophile. How come they don't say that? Donald Trump is ruining this country. Donald Trump has never failed. I mean, never succeeded at any of his businesses except theft and real estate.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing the real Donald Trump come out. Now, it's been my belief that there's been multiple, just like with Biden, we had actors out there, we had doubles, we had clones. There were a lot of people in line playing Donald Trump in the past few years. A lot of things going, bouncing around. This, first he'd say that, then he'd say this, then he'd say that, and then he'd say this. I've been waiting for him to reveal himself. All right. These files needed to come out. We're just seeing part of them right now.
Oh, his cabinet, Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz, and
Yeah.
all these, they are, and I'll guarantee it, part of the satanic cult.
Yeah.
They are put in power. They are threatened. Ted Cruz stated Donald Trump would be the worst president ever. Now he works for him. Marco Rubio stated Donald Trump would be the worst president ever. Quote, and now he works for him. People, it's all a money grab. It's all do what you're told or you will be executed.
Mhm.
It's that fucking simple. How could I come up and say Donald Trump would be the best freaking president in the world and then turn around the day later and say he's a scumbag piece of shit? Not gonna happen.
Well,
I've always said he's a scumbag piece of shit.
a couple days ago, Ted Cruz literally said that we have to stop pursuing the pedophiles.
Yeah, no,
He
I seen
literally
that too.
said that.
He said we need to quit picking on the pedophiles.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah,
Like, are you guys kidding me? Like, they're making it so parents can't even protect their own children with these crazy
and ever
laws.
since I was a little kid, I knew if people went into prison for pedophile, their chances on not being killed, it's
Right,
crazy.
right.
When you're in prison, being a pedophile will get you killed by the other inmates. I don't give Donald Trump, and with that said, I can't wait to see, and I hope I lead the march to get Donald Trump convicted and put in prison, if not worse. And all these other pedophiles, this billionaire crime ring of pedophiles. That's how they keep secrets. That's how they do it. It's all blackmail, and we're gonna kill you if you ever
Right.
speak a word of it. I was told that if I ever shared this story to you right here, right now, I would be executed myself. At 15 years old, I was told that. I was tortured not to be able to remember names so I could tell you the names of these people. I can't write. I can't. I was tortured not to get. Well, when you see your whole family murdered, like your mom shot 3 times, your sister beat with a golf club, your stepbrother shot in the head, and your stepfather axed up, you tend to believe, hey, if I share this story, I'm going to be executed too. People say, well, how did you survive? How did you survive? How come they didn't kill you? I get that question asked all the time because I was right there and I had people protecting me saying, we'll do your killing for you. Straight up, people.
Awful. The story is so, you could not make the story up. So
I
like when I
couldn't.
when I walk around town, people will say, "Well, what do I do?" or whatever. And I do a lot of things obviously, but I'll tell them about your book that I interview you every week. And like I said when we started, there's no curiosity whatsoever. And I'm like, they didn't even ask what I'm talking about, which is shocking. And so when I do get into the conversation, I'll say, well, the one you saw on People magazine and on Oprah was an imposter. Then they're like, what? Because that'll get their attention. But when you think of this, you were just a little boy. That picture came out of you maybe 2, 3 weeks ago of you being dragged by the arm, crying, tears running down your face. That rips my heart out.
And I believe that had something to do with the fake Jackie. When I look at these pictures, I remember things. And I remember Jackie and this one gal and a stack of mail. And I don't know what it was about, but if you notice in that picture, I have a piece of mail in
Yeah.
my hand. I don't know what it was about. Those times were really crazy and I was young, but it had something to do with the post office and mail. I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
it was all crazy times, but yeah, if you look at my face in that picture, she had me by the wrist and it wasn't a good experience.
No, no. It's just so sad. And you tell the stories that you tell. So basically, passed from person to person, living with the Quigleys, witnessing all the horrific things you did through your life,
Oh, and
murders, all sorts.
being a and I am the Richard Steele. I get a lot of hate groups and people say, "Oh, Richard Steele's still alive." Well, there was two of us. I remember one day, me and Richard Steele.
Yeah.
Um, I think it was Richard Steele's agent. We were on the lawn with Wayne, and I believe he was cut in the face or something. They probably used MK Ultra on him and got him cut in the face or on the neck or on the chin. And that was one of the times I took in place for him. So there was actually two of us. It's not like there wasn't two of us. People say, "Well, Richard Steele's still alive. How could you be him?" Because there was two of us. But that identity was also stolen, and I forgot where I was going with that. So I get
Doesn't
rambling
matter.
on. There's
Doesn't
there's
matter.
so much information that I could be sharing, but they got a hate group out there right now trying to discredit me. And oh, I know where I was going. When I was Richard Steele, I was placed with Doris Day. I was under MK Ultra. It's a deep hypnosis, but I was with Doris Day and Brian Keith. And this is how they erased my memory of being John Kennedy Jr. Well, tried, I should say, because the handler said Doris Day is your new mom and Brian Keith is your new daddy. So I actually lived with Brian Keith and Doris Day while they practiced the movie set. So I was calling them mom, I was calling them dad. There's a scene in that movie where I walked in and they were in bed together. And I was like, "Mom's sleeping with dad," or whatever I said. It was crazy. But yeah, I was placed with many, many people like that all the time. I lived with John Wayne for a couple of weeks. I worked on the movie sets. Robert Redford, um, so many different people. Charles Bronson is I really admired Charles Bronson. He actually was a good guy. He was trying to teach me. And looking back when I was a child, I could see he was trying to teach me. He was trying to keep me alive. Like when he told me to go get him a beer and keep the cap sealed because it's a murder crime ring at the top. It's huge at the top. He said, "Kid, go get me a beer from the whorehouse, bring it back, but make sure the cap's on it." I brought him back a beer. The cap wasn't on there. He said, "What the fuck? Why you didn't do what I said?" And he got really pissed off about that. because I'm the same way. He taught me that when I was a child to this very day. Wayne taught me if you go out to a bar, you drink a clear liquid drink so you can see if somebody put something in it, gave you a Mickey, or slipped you some cyanide or some poison, because that's how evil and corrupt it is in this cabal. It's always wanting to climb the ladder and get to the
Right,
top. It's
right.
king of the hill in government.
Yeah.
It's huge. And there's so many. I would hate to be Donald Trump right now, to fake Donald Trump as president, because it's crazy. It really is. Um, he's a yes man, and he has to live with that the rest of his fucking life. But I
Yeah.
would hate to be him, but I don't care that he is who he is now.
Yeah. Well, so, Trump, there, like I said, there's been multiple Trumps. There's a lot of the duplicates are the bad ones, and they're showing their true colors. That's all I gotta say. I have someone at the door that I have to turn away. I'll be right back with you.
Oh, not a problem. This is one of the books. Mary Maxwell. That's Mary Maxwell on the back. This book is actually on Amazon and Lulu. Mary Maxwell wrote this book, and it's free to read. If you just want to get the information on this book, you can go to Mary Maxwell's Substack. I don't know what it is, but she actually put it on there for you to read for free. Mary Maxwell just signed all the rights over to me of this book. Um, so I will be getting 100% of the profits
Oh, good.
on this book from now on. And it's on Amazon. So if you get this book, you're showing me your support. And I want to thank Mary Maxwell for that. Prayers for Mary Maxwell. All love to Mary Maxwell. Mary Maxwell came here a couple years ago to Bullhead City. She flew in from back east. We met her in Kingman. We did a chat in Laughlin. She said, "John, I came here to discredit you, and you proved me wrong. You're 100% John." Or she said 99.999% John Kennedy Jr. But yeah, she realized I am who I am, so she wrote this book. Bless your heart, Mary
Yeah.
Maxwell.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. I didn't know that. That's very exciting. Very
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah. So we're trying to get the information out there, written in different ways, but the story is coming out. And so what I told John before we started the video is that this information, like we're crawling up the mountain, like I said, it's going to go boom. And then he's going to be out there and people are going to, their jaws are going to drop, right? It's going to be great.
Yeah, Mary Shannon mentioned the other day in a text, she said, "I'm manifesting in a couple months that your story's gonna go world." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, you go."
Yeah.
I think Robin stole my smokes. So I'm just kidding.
Now it's your turn. All right. So long as I'm here and I've got everybody, I want to share John's website just to show them. Got to get it loaded up first. So bear with me a second. There we go. It just takes a second. Okay. John's website is therealjohnfkennedy.com. All right. So lots of content in this website. So for those
That's
that are
the
doing
real
so,
John F. Kennedy, JR.com, people on
yep,
Facebook.
yep,
And that's the only place you can get Sue's wonderful book,
yeah.
The Quest for Justice.
Well,
And I'm going to be sending her a bunch of autographed copies. So when you go to the website, ask for an autographed copy. It is so
yep,
appreciated.
yep.
And
So
it's a
there's
part of history.
the book, but it's really so we have the books here. But there's so much content on this website. There's a lot of photos, there's a timeline, there's a lot of information. So if you're not familiar with the story, please go to the website and just glance around a little bit. All right. So that will just help you become more familiar with the story. But what I wanted to do is really point out two things. We've got a donate button here. Okay, there it is. And you can donate to John via Cash App, or you can send him a check. if you send a check, please make it out to David Quigley, which is his legal name. That's the name he was given at, what would you say, age 5 or 6, John?
Yeah, around kindergarten age.
Yeah. Okay. The second point I want to the second part that I want to show people is the healing and protective pendant. Okay, so it's on under the shop button, and there's a photo of it, and I have mine here. I don't know if you
This
can
is on
see
the
it.
website too to show your support, people.
Yeah.
Stolen Identity. It's the cover of the book on there, and
Yep.
King Smarty's logo right on the back.
Yep. It comes with the chain. And not only is it a beautiful collector's item, it has healing and protective frequencies. So you're going to get healing and protective frequencies from, all the radiation and EMFs, but multiple billions and billions of frequencies for disease protection, anti-aging, whatever you name it. You will either notice immediate, quick results or slow, steady results. And with you, John, you started wearing these pendants a couple years ago. You had PTSD. You were not thinking you were going to live long. That's kind of why you started these videos. And
Oh
you started
yeah,
wearing the pendant. And we have noticed in the past couple of years your progress just by wearing a pendant. That's it.
yeah. Well, years ago, I don't even remember how many years ago. I had total heart failure, and the doctors were saying, you're probably not even going to get off the operating table. And I'm still here.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm really not feeling too bad. Um, with all the stress and attacks and every other thing. It's
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm still here, people, and I'm still shouting, and my
So
life's a lot better now.
this,
So
yeah.
yeah,
This is a great way to support John because the proceeds go directly to John for living expenses and whatever. Really, to do these videos, you have to have, well, first of all, you have to have the internet and then all the accompanying software and blah, blah, blah. So it's not only your time, but it does cost money, right? So it is nice when you have enough to support at least
and
what you're doing.
it's discouraging too. I need all the support I can get. I really do, mentally, physically, financially.
Yeah.
I I haven't sold a pendant since before Christmas. It was really cool. I had a lot of support from people. So if you haven't got a pendant, please, if you can afford it and show your support, it'll be a collector's item and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
shows you're supporting the cause. And I haven't got a letter in the mailbox for a couple of weeks now. And that's the first time in 3 years that I have gone a week without a letter of support saying, hey, we support you,
Yeah.
whatever, we want to talk to you, you come over when you're in our spot of the world, and that kind of thing. um and I'm leaving it in God's hands, but I really want a healing center, a church, and I don't want to be negative, but I want to do so much like I've always tried to do and plan ahead, but I'm just leaving it in God's hands because personally, I shouldn't say this out loud, but I don't see it happening. I really don't.
Oh,
I,
I see it happening.
yeah, but when you go week after week after week, and then you say, man, would I rather be out
Yeah.
fishing at the river
Yeah.
or getting on the internet preaching the story and
Yeah.
sharing the truth to the people?
Yeah.
And with that said, I haven't been fishing in years and years, but I'm sorry for the negativity, people.
Well, here's the thing. It you get tired, and that's what the dark side wants. They want us to get tired and say, "Oh, I'm going to quit." All right? You can't quit. You're almost to the top.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
the haters, you get all these people with
Yeah.
these billions of dollars that we're exposing for murder
Yeah.
and child trafficking and all their other things they do. We're exposing all these people with identity theft. There's so
Yeah.
many people, so many families out there that are in my story that are guilty of identity theft.
Yep.
And they're still big in government to this very day. And they got
Yep.
lots of money. And we were talking with a lawyer the other day, and they're like, most definitely, the lawyer's like, most definitely, these people are paying people to hinder your story. So
Yes.
we're up against a big force of evil that don't want the truth out. And it goes all the way to the president of the United States, just like him saying, are we still talking about the Epstein files?
Yeah,
Come
like there's
on.
nothing to see here. There's nothing to see
Yeah.
here, right?
Why are you talking about that creep? Because that creep was his best friend for years. And I believe, and I'm going to say it, I'm going to quote me on this, Donald Trump was Epstein's boss. And I'm going to share a story real quick, if you don't mind, Sue.
Always.
Dorothy Quigley, my mother, the handler, the Dorothy Quigley I was placed with, the one I called mom for years, sold real estate. She was selling real estate illegal on the East Coast. We're talking 200, 300,000, $400,000 homes, right? That's what these people do. Well, she got in trouble. So what did they do? What did organized crime do? They went to another woman named Dorothy Quigley. And they said, we want you to go to prison for Dorothy Quigley. We will pay you $2 million just to go sit in prison for a year, right? Identity theft. The real Dorothy Quigley was scot free. But the lady that they hired to go to prison, go to court with a driver's license that said Dorothy Quigley on it, was murdered. That's how they operate. So when you think of Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell sitting in that jail cell, is she really Maxwell? Is she? Or did she take the fall because Donald Trump and his wife are the boss of this child trafficking crime ring? Donald Trump, it's in the files that Epstein brought children to Donald Trump. If you have somebody bringing children to you, are you the boss or the underboss? Come on, people. It's common freaking sense. Then you guys all remember El Chapo, you know, the big underworld drug dealer, El Chapo. If you haven't heard I don't know what to tell you. He escaped from prison. Somehow a tunnel, the whole 9 yards. When he was in court, he said, Judge, I'm not El Chapo. They use identity theft, people, all the way to they have that power. What are we going to have to do? Get DNA to prove these people that go to prison are even who they say they are? They're just fall guys.
Yeah. 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 Well, okay. So here's what I wanted to say. I want to say a lot of things, but okay, we've seen Diddy in jail. All right, there was video of him out of his cell, riding a bike, doing all this stuff. We know that the elite, we'll call them the wealthy people, when they go to jail, like a Martha Stewart or whatever, they get special treatment. They don't get put in a cement cell with bars like the rest of us guys. Like I don't know how, just from the movies, it's got to be horrible, right? Horrible living conditions. These guys don't live that way, and then they get privileges, and that wasn't the real one. Okay, so that is again a stand-in, a look-alike, a double, a clone, whatever it might be. The real one is hidden away, living free. That's not right. That is an injustice. And then whatever happened with that whole thing? Okay, it was such a big thing. They never really got to the bottom of what was really going on at those parties. Underage sex was what they were concerned about. Oh no, much darker, much deeper than that. All right, well, maybe he wasn't the boss, but he knew so many people in the celebrity genre that he could have blown the whistle on. Okay, they're still running around doing what they're doing. Now, we finally got the Epstein files around out, right? The videos are out, the photos are out. These people are still running around.
Yeah, we
Why
need to.
is it that the public is so I don't know, passive.
We really need to put again our own police force together. It's in our constitution where when our government gets too tyrannical that we can put a stop to it.
Yeah,
And I'm all for it. I would love to be there and start rounding up these people and putting them in prison for their crimes.
yeah,
How can we have a convicted felon sitting in our White House? Any of us that committed one felony would be in prison. That would be it. And we have these people committing child trafficking and kidnapping, all the way to accessory to murder. I'm charging
yeah.
myself, I'm accusing Donald Trump of accessory to pre planned first degree murder. I am. I would love to put him in a chair and make him talk. I've done that before with people. It's not that hard to get the truth out of people if you really want to. It's not. But these
Well,
people are so guilty and nothing's being done. They're allowed to keep lying to us and deceiving us. They're pulling the God card now. You know, these Epstein files are getting so deep and so heavy. They're pulling the God card. Oh, we're gonna put God back in America, people. That's a quote from Donald fucking Trump. You know, it's crazy. I've seen the God card pulled out so many fucking times in my life. If you're not awake, you need to be awake because when you're awake, you can see it plain as day
yeah,
how they're operating.
yeah. Well, not only are we talking, all the crime, pedophilia and all that, the issue is cannibalism, torture and cannibalism, and all the rituals they're doing with these poor kids.
Well, you
And
remember, I think it's been a couple of years now, Sue, maybe about a year ago.
yeah,
But I had mentioned that when I was under MK Ultra, I had physically seen Epstein kill a child. I think I mentioned that on your show.
you did. You did.
And now it's coming out to light. I mean, this was before the Epstein files even came out, where they threw a baby in a lake. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
I've said it. I see it. You know, being under MK Ultra, it wasn't so clear, but I remember Wayne handing Epstein a child, and Epstein killed that child. And then Wayne said, "By the way, that was your own child." So, you know, if you pissed Wayne off, um, you ended up in prison. Just like, you know, John pissed Wayne off too, and he ended up dead. And he was tested over, you know, when you're in this cabal, you are tested and tested for your faith and loyalty to the cabal. And if you screw up, if you commit murder and try to climb the ladder too fast, you pay for it with your life. You really, really do. And obviously, Epstein had pissed Wayne off to expose him to the piles that are being now, or they never would have came out.
No. Awful.
But
It's it's
I just wanted to bring that up because they were talking about killing children in the files, and I remembered I'd mentioned
yeah,
that in one of my stories to
you
you.
definitely did. And I'm sure not everything is in the file. So that's just what they've been caught with. That's just what they've been caught with. How much more is there out there that they haven't revealed? I
Yeah,
wonder.
and if you think about it, there's 3 million pages. You know, usually if somebody goes into the FBI and says, "Look, I seen this murder," or this person is trying to blackmail me, or something about child trafficking, or whatever you go to the FBI about,
Yeah,
that's one separate file. That's not 3 million pages. But why did they combine 3 million pages instead of one person's going in and saying I was sexually assaulted when I was 10 or 13 and then make that a file? Because it is so huge. It is such a big crime ring that we are dealing with. It's called the United States government that has been overthrown by a crime ring. It,
yeah,
it, People just really need to wake up. It's time. I was told when I was young, this double agent talked to me, and he said, "There's so much evil in our government. There's not enough room in the prisons for them all." Think about that. There's so much evil, this crime ring of child trafficking and these billionaires and all their little clubs all the way through Hollywood and the sports industry. They're so big, there's not enough room in the prisons for them. Even if they arrested them, they would have nowhere to put them because there's so many. It would destroy our country. It would.
Yeah.
Our country would fold in a minute if they actually knew Satan's running the country.
Well, see, a lot of people don't know what to do. That's the problem. They don't know what one person can do. But so they turn away because they don't want to know. All right. It's more than they can handle. But think of it. We have how many people here in just the US? Worldwide. This is a worldwide problem. This is not just in the US, right? What if
Well,
we
our
all,
government is so big and powerful, they squish that all the media is controlled. And we're learning that, just trying to get my story out that, hey, I'm the son of our assassinated president. They hinder us so bad.
yeah,
If our government sees an organization building itself up, David Koresh is a wonderful example of that. David Koresh was getting firearms together. He was training his 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 crew, his support, whatever you want to call them, his little cult, whatever you want to call them.
yeah,
He was getting weapons for them to turn against our government and do something. Government came in and said, "Oh, you're doing the same thing we're doing. You're molesting little children in your little cult." Um, blah blah blah, whatever. They ended up killing all those poor children anyway. Our government did that, so they squash. Our government gets in there and squashes it before it actually happens.
yeah. The other day, I was talking to someone on the phone, and they were like, they were trying to soften the blow that people thought I was crazy. Okay. So, and I was trying to be quiet just to listen to how it was approached. It was approached very well, but it was like he said, well, and she believes that there's UFO. He's giving me an example that there are UFOs out there and that they're real. And I didn't say anything. And then finally I said, well, I believe that the government does not have our best interests at heart. And we both really laughed. So why can we accept that the government does not have our best interests at heart? And yet the members of the government have done all this evil, duplicitous, horrible stuff against our people. Why can't we believe that? Why are we so deer in the headlights about it? Why are we not reacting? Why are we just sitting here like, oh, I think I'll watch a show on TV? What's the deal?
Because they got it put together where we can't get organized and we can't
Yeah,
unite.
yeah,
United we stand.
yeah,
But yeah, it's
yeah.
they they
You,
they got
you've
us
been
in a
telling, just your story for, I don't know. Let's say it's been 3 years that we've been talking because I can't do the math. Um, but you've been telling your story for years. The
I think it's
same
been
story.
2018. I don't know how many years ago that was, but I
Yeah,
came out around 2018.
yeah,
It was really hard. I was deathly ill. I was walking to the food bank with a wagon that said, "Hey, I'm the real John Kennedy Jr." I'd go to the food bank and I'd say, "By the way, people, I'm the real John Kennedy Jr." They would laugh at me. Um,
yeah, yeah,
it's been hard, but I can't blame them for laughing. You think he's crazy, especially in a town where there's so many people, homeless people, and drug addicts, and every other thing. But yeah, so the book Stolen Identity was a huge achievement to get that out, and
right.
at least I had something to hold on to and say, "Hey, I'm the real John Kennedy Jr."
Yeah,
And then the powers to try to hinder you are huge to this very
yeah,
day.
yeah,
I canceled my YouTube channel. Um, I actually was paying $15 a month just so I could get on there and make a video, and my viewers weren't going up. So anyway, I canceled that the other day. I think it's good for another 2 weeks that I'm paid up on there,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I might get on there, but it's senseless. Um, to they hinder us on purpose.
right.
This is the biggest story of the century, and I'm on YouTube saying, "Hey, I'm the son of a president. that was assassinated. But here's the kicker: they didn't stop killing, they didn't stop the stealing. It's been going on, and I'll get one or two new subscribers. I mean, come on, you know that the system's rigged, and they own the system
Right.
on the biggest story of the century. And Robin's been picking on Sean Hannity lately, which is so cool. Um, because Sean Hannity of Fox News sums it all up. I went to school with Sean Hannity of Fox News. He was supposed to bring my story out. And I remember him at an event where he was talking to Wayne and he said, I can't bring him out. I already took the mob money. I already took the mansions. I already took the big payoffs. And so I'm exposing him for his loyalty to the mob.
Are you saying he said that to Wayne and you heard that?
Yep. I was
Oh,
right
you
there.
didn't tell me that part.
Yeah, we were at an event. I can't remember what it was. Some kind of country western singer was on stage. Um, support the red, white, and blue or some shit. But Sean Hannity was there. And I would have to look it up to remember what actual day it was and date it was. But being under MK Ultra is hard until you put the pieces of puzzles together. Because I was being placed with handlers, taken out of
Yeah.
being handled and under MK Ultra and meeting all these people. I've met so many people that way. But why was Wayne doing that? Um, I don't even know if Wayne's still alive. Last time I seen Wayne, um, he turned me away. Um, I'm thinking it had to be at least 15 years ago. So I don't even know if the man's still alive or not.
Okay. Interesting. So pretty much, I think those that are watching this now are you the ones that always watch what we're talking about. They watch your daily your daily videos and all that. So they already know what we're asking. Share the story. All right. So this is really what we're trying to do is get the truth out there to the mainstream people, to the average person, so that we I guess we're going to say we're going to reach a tipping point where people believe the story, or they'll at least listen to the story and have curiosity. We need to get to those people, and we need your help because there's
They have an
going to be no help
advantage.
from anyone else other
I
than,
really
well,
do have an advantage because they don't want me in jail. They don't want me in the media. They don't want this story out. And with me saying I have an advantage, it's because they don't want me in the spotlight. They
yeah,
don't want me to go to jail. So I can get away with, just like when I went to the FBI trying to get help for my kidnapped son and every other thing. And they said, we're not allowed to talk to you. That came straight from the FBI. Um, it's
and the word was
crazy.
allowed that they used, allowed. Higher
Yeah.
powers controlling what's happening. So I
Just like
wanted
just
to,
like the Epstein files, nothing's being done. You imagine what all these victims in the Epstein files have had to go through trying to get justice from our very own FBI. Most of them were probably turned away because the presidents of the United States are at the top. They're bosses, and you start talking about, oh, the president did this or the president. We can't talk to you. That's our
yeah,
boss.
yeah, yeah. And like think about how hard it is, someone that they feel ashamed, they feel foolish, they're scared for their lives, they're scared of public ridicule and all of that, and they still come forward anyway, and some of them don't make it. Now we see some that have been murdered, and we see some that have just disappeared somehow. All right. Not cool. All right. What I wanted to say though, before you get talking again,
I'm sorry.
no, I wanted to say there is justice coming here on earth. As you know, I'm a big believer in King Smarty and all the work that he and his team do, and I help them as much as I'm able to. And the goal is to get the truth out there and to provide justice here on earth for all those that have been wronged. And that's in process now. So we're seeing that come out. So I think that's where we're going to be looking for help because the people have been pacified. They're struggling for survival. They're distracted by their sports and their phones and their day-to-day activities, and they don't know what to do,
I
right?
remember when I first met King, he
Yeah.
sent me a gift box. And I was showing Robin. I was like, it's some kind of pog game or something because he sent me his little coins, and I didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
But he has blessed me so
Yeah.
much since I met him. He's a hell of a wonderful, nice guy, and the supporters have blessed me so wonderful also. So big shout out to the king.
Yep. Yep. And he did create these pendants. All right. So again, mine is wobbling in the air, but he created these for you so you could support yourself, right? So that you would have enough money to live. Because I think when we first started talking, you had no income whatsoever, no income,
Right,
nothing.
zero.
And now I believe you're getting a monthly small disability check, which is horrific, and whatever we make from selling books and pendants. So
Yeah, I
that's
rely.
why,
I really rely on that because I get my disability check,
yeah,
and it's a little under $1,000 a month, I believe.
yeah.
And my
And
bills are more than that, so I'm always like, how am I going to pay these bills and pay
yeah,
these bills? And I've been blessed. A lot of people have blessed me, so I could pay
yeah,
my bills. What's not paid with my disability. So
yeah.
it's wonderful the support I've seen.
Yeah. And I think pretty much everybody here is going through it. You know, we've seen food prices more than double, gas go up, rent or mortgage go up. Like everything is crazy. Everyone's being squeezed, 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 squeezed. And we're, the people are distracted by that. We're trying to survive. And then there's those of us with our eyes open looking at what's really going on out there saying, oh man, this is not right. So we do need justice out there. And I've done this before, but I'm pounding my fist on the desk saying, justice for John F. Kennedy Jr., 2026, this year, it's coming. All right.
Let's do it.
We're getting it
Let's.
out there. We're getting it out there. So for those that can watch the documentary, share the documentary around. So it is on this website, thequietjourney.tv. It's also embedded into the website, therealjohnfkennedyjr.com. All right. So it is in there if you want to watch it. Real quick and easy, 1 hour of your day. You'll find out what we're talking about, right? Or
It's
read one of the
awesome. I
books.
hope everybody in the whole world gets to see the documentary. I really
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah. Yep. So it's really important that we get the truth out there. And all right, so I do little side videos about points in history where there's deception. And literally every single story we know is wrong on purpose because it's done to deceive us, trick us, teach us something that's wrong. It's quite shocking when you hear the real story behind each one of them.
Yeah,
Shocking.
it's all programming and lies
Yes.
and deceit
Yeah.
and
And
you people on Facebook. On Awakened Stories with the beautiful Sue Greenwald. See her videos. She has King Smarty on there all the time
yep.
too. Check out his videos. Um, all kinds of stuff, including fairies and mermaids and yeah.
That's my pendant, which has mermaids and fairies on it. But yay. But yeah, it's so my website is about things that people don't think are real. So paranormal, supernatural experiences that I experience myself or other people. And then I do these interviews because there is so much out there that we don't know about that's been covered up. We need, don't we want to know the truth? Don't you? Wouldn't you prefer if things were honest and true? We didn't have to worry about censorship or whatever. We could just read something and know it was the truth. That's the way it should be. Honest, wholesome, and truth.
And like I was exposing Sean Hannity for being my friend. Um, Fox News, fair and balanced. It's not at all. It's basically a news channel for Donald Trump to
Yeah.
I don't know what you want to call it. Kind of like his fake staged assassination attempt. So he would be all a photo op. Um, there's another word to it other than photo op, but
False flag.
deception and
Yeah.
lies.
Yeah.
So people get addicted, and then they hear the lie after lie after lie, and they start
Yeah.
believing them lies, start sharing the lies. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge, the deception. They get on there at the podium each and every day in the White House and lie to you. They keep saying Donald Trump, the greatest man in the world, did this. He's the greatest guy in the world. He did this. He's the greatest guy in the world. And pretty soon you start listening to it and start
You
believing it.
believe it.
And it's programming into your head. They don't tell you, yeah, he's a pedophile. He's in the Epstein files 30,000 times. And that he, they don't tell you straight up. He's never um, been a business success ever. Everything he's touched his hands on to his casinos have failed. His steak business, his Bible business, even his Trumpy Bears, they've all failed drastically. And but you get on Fox News or the White House, and they'll say, "Best man ever, greatest thing ever since
Yeah.
cornbread."
Well, if you read the book 1984 by George Orwell, when the guy gets caught, Winston gets caught, okay, having his own thoughts and his own life, and they program him, they torture him, and they program him until he steps in tow with the party line. So that book is so spot on to what we're experiencing now. And it didn't just start now. It's been like that for a long time, right? But
That reminds me of the song by the Dead Kennedys. You imagine having, and I met them, me being John Kennedy Jr., met the Dead Kennedys. Who would name their band the Dead Kennedys? But one of their songs, "Welcome to 1984. Are you ready for the Third World War? You too will meet the secret police. They'll draft you and they'll jail your niece." Um, Crazy, but
yeah. Well, they've been doing this stuff like a long time. We're just seeing it now because of the internet, cell phones and their cameras. You know what I mean? So we didn't have that quick communication back then. When your father was killed, I mean, obviously there were news reporters and that went that way, but we didn't have the internet. So the average person, we couldn't record things, we couldn't see, we couldn't slow-mo the bullets or whatever. Like they can now, they can slow-mo and analyze, and it's actually quite fascinating what people can do, you know. And we didn't have that a few years ago. So that's why we think it's coming out now. But can't you feel the energy moving fast? The day seems shorter. Oh, you get up and then all of a sudden it's time to go back to bed. It's like crazy how fast things are moving. It's coming out. Consciousness is raising, it's speeding up, stuff is coming out. In fact, like I
and
think I said this at the beginning of the video, when I went to publish this book, Quest for Justice, I put it out on Amazon. They have a 3-day period where they check everything and make sure it's, good for consumption, blah, blah, blah. So it passed the check and all that. I got ready to do a massive, I was going to do a promo. I was very excited. And then they took it down and they said, don't come back. I'm banned for life for any book, for any account that I do for Amazon. Now, how many people can tell that story, right? How many people can say what they've done, which is compile someone's experiences? I made nothing up myself in here that have been banned.
yeah, they
Ugly,
don't
ugly stuff.
censorship.
Yeah,
They only want, goes back to Hitler burning books.
yeah,
You,
yeah,
you, you just imagine if we had a police force of American citizens that came in and took over the CIA and Washington, took over everything. They would be burning files left and right that are secret, that they didn't want us to know about the takeover of America by them.
yeah. It's very complex and it's very big. And like, why do we need all these secret agencies that work against the people, right? Aren't they supposed to be working for the people, for the country to help us?
They
Why
most
are they
certainly
doing the
are.
opposite?
I know a lot of secrets too.
Yeah,
Their training grounds, and I don't mind sharing this. if you guys really want to know what the Secret Service and how the Secret Service was ran, watch a cowboy movie. Watch John Wayne movies from the 30s and 40s. All the actors from John Wayne to you name it, Patrick Swayze, anybody, Miss Kitty, they all started out in cowboy movies, all the way to playing doctors and lawyers in movies to this day. But that old timers, watch the old cowboy movies. That was the Secret Service people.
Okay. I haven't watched a cowboy movie, well, since I was a little kid, and my grandfather would watch them.
If you watch these old cowboy shows
Yeah.
like Wagon Train and Colt 45, and I even watched a show the other day. Oh, well, it's been about 6 months ago, but it was a Western. I've never seen it before, but they actually made it into a show. And when I was living in Yosemite Lakes Park, there was a ranch not too far from there, like 20 miles away. And it was named after the guy from this old time Western movie. He actually owned a ranch there, but that's how they did it. They owned the ranches. They would get these cowboy actors, they would give them ranches, set them up with ranches. I knew a guy named Lou Brock. I worked on his ranch for quite a few years, and it's all tied to the cabal. It's all the Masonic secret societies and everything. But yeah, that's if you want to climb down a rabbit hole, that's a good place to start with the
Yeah.
country western because that was everybody. If you were anybody and anybody in Hollywood, you were in a country western movie.
Ah, okay.
Um, Go ahead, Sue.
No, I was trying to figure out how the connection is, but you had told us before that all of these actors got ranches, which are worth quite a bit of money.
Oh,
And when you
Ronald
think
Reagan
of
had a
it,
ranch.
yeah,
I knew Ronald Reagan. I ate jelly beans off of Ronald Reagan's desk. Ronald Reagan was in the Hollywood Western movies.
yeah,
They were all in the Hollywood Western movies, all of them. Um, I forgot what I was going to say. It was something probably not that important, but
yeah, yeah,
yeah, anybody that was anybody was in a Western. I was. Um, I worked for John
okay.
Wayne, and John Wayne, um, I think John Wayne killed somebody for me one day, but
Ooh, yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah,
a big connection is the Hollywood Westerns and Hollywood entertainment industry
yeah,
and what they could do and what.
yeah. Okay. Well, we'll be back again. We'll tell more of the story. We assume, I think a lot of people know the core story of what happened to John. The information is out there. Again, you can, go to thequietjourney.tv. You can go to John's website, the real John F. Kennedy jr.com, and just look around there, get information there. And then, of course, read all the books if you're inclined. But the story is real. It's coming out. We're not stopping. It would be awesome if we didn't have censorship and the blockages and interference. And we appreciate your support, right? Anything else
Check
you want
out
to say?
Sue's book
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
real John F. Kennedy Jr.com.
Yep. And John gets proceeds from this book. So we want to help him as much as we're able to. So thank you all for your help and support. And thank you, John, so much. I appreciate your time.
I thank you, Sue.
Okay.
I thank you and your followers and the king. Um, God bless you all, really.
Well, I will be back. We did take a little break. My channel was down, which didn't help any, and we've had a lot of weird things happen lately. But we're back. We're not giving up. We're almost to the top of the mountain. Remember, keep that in mind. Draw a little photo of you on your hands and knees, crawling up the mountain. All of us guys are pushing you. Okay, and we're almost there.
We're almost there. I can't give
Almost
up.
there.
I might
So.
want to wish I could a lot of the times, and like I said, go fishing or
You
hunting
deserve
or
a day
something.
off too. You deserve
Yeah.
time off. And it is, just think of how stressful it is, for us viewers. How stressful is it that you have to go and talk about this every day and think about it again, and you're living in poverty, and you're controlled and all that. It's extremely stressful, and it's not good for your health or your emotional well-being.
Yeah. Sharing my story each and every day
Yeah.
about the murders of my loved ones. And
Yeah.
it's hard. It really is hard to
Yep.
keep going and going and seeing my
Yeah.
father, people sending me pictures of my father's brains exploding over and over again for
Yeah.
thousands of times. And yeah, sometimes I just want to
Yeah.
chill out.
I don't think it's a healthy thing to have to relive every second, but again, you'll be through it soon. So thank
With
you
that
again,
said,
everyone.
I love you guys on Facebook. Keep sharing. Thank you so much for your support and sharing each and every day. God bless you
Yeah.
all.
Yep.
You Lions are the best. We got this. Peace.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Thank you for your time. I appreciate